The Immaculate Constellation Program. It's been going on in the news here for the last 24 hours or so. Michael Shellenberger, who had dropped this kind of bombshell report about not just one whistleblower, but a bunch of whistleblowers who have written this report, taken it to Congress about this program that has been, I guess, reported by these whistleblowers that this thing is happening within the government, that we do have a reverse engineering program. There are things that have been worked on, and there's various people that have been working. Shellenberger was on Rogan collaborating with it. He spoke to Ross Coulthart about it. And there was even something where I guess Shellenberger had reached out to the government, and they said, well, we'll get back to you, and we'll talk to you in a couple of days about this. And they still haven't gotten back to him about it. No comment whatsoever. Not even no, this isn't true, or anything along those lines. I guess. That's what we haven't heard. That's what we've heard so far is basically nothing. And there was something that he had said, Shellenberger, that is that he was warned not to report this, not to report the name, because if it is, then he would be on serious notice if he did. Well, he did it. And now a lot of people are talking about it. And one of the people talking about it is Ross Coulthart, who spoke to him, but he was on News Nation and he was asked about the project and what it meant. And listen to this answer and then tell me what you guys think. Here you go.
News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthart. Ross, good morning to you. Give us more. What more do we know about the whistleblower and this Immaculate Constellation Program?
Well, good morning, Marky. And firstly, it's multiple whistleblowers that are backing this account. I'm aware of allegations that this particular whistleblower has gone to Congress and given this evidence in a report. It's a very lengthy report that details and is supported by other people with knowledge of this program, alleging basically that the RO, the Pentagon's UAP investigation office, and the Pentagon have illegally withheld from Congress knowledge of a secret UAP retrieval and reverse engineering program, and more importantly, that they are aware of a large body of information about UAPs, particularly human intelligence, photographs, videos, and they're a very high resolution, much higher than we're used to from these blurry pictures we often get on TV. And I think the key incident that's the most extraordinary is there are allegations made in the report that one of the top line fighters in the US, the F-22 Raptor, was actually boxed in by as many as 3 to 6 orbs and forced out of an airspace area.
The other thing, Ross, that caught my eye because I was reading Shellenberger's piece was also that a former intelligence official, maybe it's also another one of the whistleblowers, I'm not sure, confirmed the existence of this program, but adding that it's run out of the Secretary of Defense office, and also warning that whoever even talks about it is put on government radar and is put in the danger zone. That's ominous, Ross.
It is. It's very ominous. And look, I should note the Defense Department has issued a statement formally denying categorically that there is any special access program, unacknowledged, waived, or special access program that has the terms Immaculate Constellation. But frankly, there are multiple sources backing Shellenberger's story, and he's sticking to a story and saying he knows he's right. So really, it's a matter for the Pentagon now, because they're going to be questioned. There's going to be hearings in the Congress. People are going to be deposed and asked questions. And if they have lied, there's going to be a reckoning.
Do you feel like where there's smoke, there's fire, Ross? You know, and what would be the harm if a program does exist? What would be the harm for the government coming out and saying, you know, we actually do have a department that looks at unidentified objects for national security purposes? I don't get it.
Such a good question. I, for the life of me, Marky, do not understand why we cannot be told what I strongly believe is the case, that the United States is in possession of non-human technology. Because like Mr. Shellenberger, I've been hearing the same stories from people inside the legacy program. And I think it's time for both presidential candidates to maybe think about fessing up and telling the truth to the public for once in a while.
All right. Yeah, this story is heating up. And as Ross says in there, like, the hearing is right around the corner with this. So this story coming out now, I would assume they're going to ask this question about this program. Now, I don't know, when Ross said that I guess the that there was someone who denied it. I don't think there's a public statement that denied it, but Shellenberger, obviously, as he said, was sticking to his guns on it. So I don't know if there was the response that Shellenberger got when he reached out. I don't know what the further up was on that. However, it just looks like there's a lot of collaboration between the people that Ross is speaking to, he's speaking to, other people are speaking to this program. And then there's something that James Fox in his documentary brought up, that not the program by name, but a program. And take a look at this clip.
People have come forward claiming firsthand knowledge of craft of non-human origin.
That's correct. We have sources who have asserted not only that there have been crashes, but there have been crash retrievals.
All right, so that was Kirk McConnell, who was a former Senate Armed Services Committee senior staffer. And he's also going to speak at the Soul Foundation, which, once again, they announced new names from the Soul Foundation that are going to be talking, and that's coming up. And it all is leading up to the end of the year, kind of big punch type stuff. Now, we've been talking about on this show, this information that comes out from Shellenberger, the program itself leading into the hearing. Will this be brought up at the hearing? You assume that it will. Maybe this witness that is talking to Shellenberger and other people and some of the other witnesses talk about this program. Are some of the photos shown? Do they show some of those? Is that what changes the game here overall? And you get this other report now. I know that we talked about it the other day with Simon Thompson, who was on Patrick's show, talking about how he's saying that there was going to be an announcement within the next, I guess it was 6 months to a year, that alien life has been discovered. And then there was another kind of follow-up on another article about Simon Thompson, who was also speaking with another publication, saying essentially the same thing, that it was Mark Zuckerberg's organization that had found this and had been on the search to find it. Now, I don't know how much that plays into this other thing that we're talking about here, but it does seem like things are heating up, and then we just showed that clip from James Fox's documentary and what that means. It feels like that, and I think it might have been the UFO Joe, who I follow, who said that with all this stuff coming out and this information and the article that Shellenberger just put out, there has been this talk from people, and we heard Jeremy Corbell say it, other people say it, that if it isn't done the right way, with the way of, I shouldn't say the right way, but the way of the government revealing it, then it was going to be done like the hard way. And is that what we're seeing here? Is what the UFO Joe had put out there. Is that what we're seeing? Are we seeing this stuff like, okay, fine. You don't want to do the investigation, tell the people what we've got, then we're going to have to do it this way. And you didn't think that we were going to do this, but here we go. And maybe like, oh, wow, they got the name of the program out there. What do we do? And are they going to actually be hard pressed? Or does it go back to the same thing we've talked about a million times over on this show? Are they just going to keep playing like, I don't know what you're talking about? Denied it? No. Sean Kirkpatrick, remember that guy? Well, the new guy is going to tell you the same thing. That program, I don't know where you're coming up with that. That's a whole bunch of nonsense, because that's what they've been doing for years, and it's worked. So you try the same strategy until it doesn't work anymore, and the same strategy for now is working. But it's just that even if you're feeling skeptical on things too, you got to admit, though, they've never had this kind of heavy push within the government itself and people in Congress to talk about this stuff openly in a hearing. Now, I still think it's really bizarre and strange that there are some people who are involved in this in trying to get this information out there, or get to the bottom of it, rather, and they don't even know that there's a hearing scheduled. We talked about Burleson yesterday. It's like, I didn't even know there was a hearing. It's like that kind of stuff is just, what are you doing? How do you not know? How doesn't everybody not know? And this particular program, if this thing comes out, how are all the top dogs not talking about this unless it's like, no, don't talk about that yet. That's the guy we got talking for us. That's the big person we have talking about us. Don't talk about that just yet. Or is it also coordinated? They're like, yes, release your article. We've got him in the locks. We're not telling people that, he's talking anyway. We're not giving the name. Is it all, coordinated? This is interesting, though. This one seems to hit a little different, this program. And the stuff that he was talking about with Rogan and other things, too. It seems to hit a little differently. I don't know. Like I said, I go through a whirlwind of emotions on this stuff. This story has me optimistic. There's other stories that get me skeptical. This one makes me optimistic. What say you? Put your thoughts out there. Put your name out there. Say, hey, it's me. And this is how I feel about it. I've been following this for a while, and this is this. Just discovered this recently, and here's what I think. Put your thoughts out there. Want to hear you. Thanks for being here. If you're not a member of this channel, join. Be a member. If you're not, then you're not. Then you're leaving comments over here, and that is great. So thank you for doing that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll be back here tomorrow, everybody. Really appreciate it. See you later.